You ever feel like you were born into a storm, but nobody gave you an umbrella, just handed you the weight and told you, without words, carry it? Not because you asked, not because you were ready, just because that's what men in the family do. You don't remember when it started. Maybe it was when your mum cried in the kitchen and didn't think you saw, or when your dad stopped showing up and someone had to step up, or when things fell apart and no one said anything, but somehow you knew you were supposed to keep it all together. You carry it, their sadness, their anger, their losses. You walk around with a chest full of stories that aren't yours, but they live in you now. You carry your father's silence, your mother's exhaustion, your brother's bitterness, and your sister's disappointment. Nobody said, it's your job. But somehow, you made it your job. Because if you didn't, who would? And no one claps for it. No one says thank you. They just keep leaning. So you keep holding. But it's heavy. And it's been heavy for a long time. There's this thing that happens to men. We get good at looking okay. Too good. You learn how to hold everything in the way someone holds their breath underwater, tight, focused, pretending it doesn't hurt. Because breaking down isn't an option. Because you saw what happened to the ones who couldn't hold it together. They either got laughed at or left behind. So now you carry it quietly. The job you don't like, the money that's never enough, the pain in your mother's voice when she says she's proud, but you can hear the sadness she never healed. You carry it all. And some nights, you wonder what it would feel like to let it drop. Just once. To let it crash to the floor and admit, I'm tired of being the one everyone depends on. But you don't. Because who would catch it? You became the strong one. You got this guy. The provider, the protector, the one who doesn't flinch. And that's the part that nobody sees. The cost of it. How much of yourself you've buried to keep other people from falling apart. How you keep giving, even when no one asks if you've got anything left. There are things you've never said out loud. Like how sometimes you look in the mirror and don't recognize yourself. Or how you lay awake wondering if the people you take care of even know you're struggling too. Like maybe they think you're invincible, but you're actually just really good at pretending. This isn't about blame. You don't resent them. You love them. That's why you carry it. That's why you never said no. That's why you swallow the lump in your throat when no one's looking and keep going. But man, you're allowed to feel it. All of it. The pressure, the guilt, the weight of wanting to be everything for everyone while quietly losing pieces of yourself. You're allowed to admit that you don't know who would take care of you if you stopped being the caretaker. You keep showing up because it's all you know. Because the world told you a real man carries his load. But nobody talks about what happens when the load breaks your back and no one notices. Nobody talks about the kind of lonely that comes from being needed but never really seen. You tell yourself you're fine, that it's not that bad, that you've got it under control, but it leaks out in how quickly you shut down, in the way your chest tightens when someone asks if you're happy, in how you can't even answer that question without thinking about everyone else first. You've become a stranger to yourself. You walk past mirrors and barely look, not because you're ashamed, but because you're tired of pretending you don't feel anything. And I'm not here to tell you what to do with all that. I'm not here with answers. I just want you to know that I see it, that I get it, that you're not weak for feeling this way. You're not broken. You're just human. You were never meant to carry all of this alone, but you did anyway. And that matters, even if no one says it, even if no one sees the quiet battles you fight before breakfast, the way you stand up when it would be easier to stay in bed, the way you show love through action because you never learned how to say the words out loud. Some men are walking through life like ghosts, not because they're gone, but because they gave so much of themselves away there's barely anything left. And they still smile, still show up, still carry it. You are not invisible, even if it feels like you are. And maybe that's the scariest part. Not that you'll fall apart, but that you'll keep holding everything forever and no one will ever ask what it's costing you. There's a quiet kind of pain that builds in a man who never lets go. And one day, it starts to sound like silence.